Farewell to old England forever. Farewell to me rum coals as well. Farewell to the well-known Old Bailey. There I watched you still look such a swell. Singing to rely, reliability. Singing to rely, rely. Singing to rely, reliability. For we're bound for Botany Bay. Oh, oh, woe is me. For 7 long years I've been transported. For 7 long years and a day. 'Tis a convict I be, sent over the sea for stealing some bread away. Dark and dismal was the day when we sailed for Botany Bay, with an iron band around each hand and another one around my leg. I'm taking a trip on a government ship 10,000 miles away. Sing out for a brave and gallant ship in a fair and favouring breeze, with a bully crew and a captain too to carry me over the sea. To carry me over the sea, my boys, when true love far away. Adieu, she said, remember me 10 miles away. Then blow your winds, I ho, a roving I will go. I'll stand no more on England's shore to hear the music play. I'm off on the morning train to cross the raging main. I'm taking a trip on a government ship 10,000 miles away. Hurrah! I'd like to talk to you about the first fleet sailing ships that came to Australia to Botany Bay with a full cargo of convicts. Oh, by the way, I've written a book, and I call the book Convicts to Botany Bay, and it covers the first 7 years of the sea voyage and settlement in Australia. Back in 1783, America gained independence from Britain, and that was a big problem for the British government because they had thousands of convicts on old warships, prison hulks they call them, and they were floating on the Thames River. And also at Portsmouth Harbour, they were there all dotted around the harbour. And the British government decided to form a new penal settlement at Botany Bay, where Captain Cook discovered Botany Bay in 1770. So they got together a fleet of ships. There was 11 ships, and there was 2 Royal Navy ships. There was the flagship, HMS Supply, and there was HMS Sirius. And there was 6 transport ships. There was Prince of Wales, Lady Penrhyn, Friendship, Alexander, Charlotte, Scarborough. So that was the 6 transport ships. And then there was 3 store ships. There was Barradale, Golden Grove, and Fishburne. And on those ships, they were carrying 1,384 passengers. And of that 1,384 passengers, there was Captain Phillip. He was commander-in-chief, and his 15 officials. Then there was 209 Marines with their 32 wives and 14 children. And there was the seamen, 223 seamen to sail the ships. And then there was the 778 convicts. And of that 778 convicts, there was 587 male convicts and 191 female convicts and 13 children. Now, the youngest female convict was Elizabeth Hayward, and she was 13. The oldest female convict was Elizabeth Beckford. She was 70. And the youngest male convict was John Hudson. He was 13. So on the 13th of May, 1787, they set sail for Botany Bay. And the voyage took 8 months and 1 week. And now I'd like to introduce to you one of the convicts that was on the First Fleet sailing ship. He became our first bushranger. So let's go now. We'll go up and meet John Caesar, and I'll sing a little song about him. I'd like to introduce to you John Caesar. He was Australia's first bushranger. He led a gang of absconders and vagabonds around Port Jackson. And this is a song about John Caesar. And if you listen to the words, you'll hear about his time around Port Jackson. I come from Madagascar and I'm a big black man. I took a trip upon the sea to hear upon me land. A servant man and a man of ground is what I aspired to be. But I came and stuck it down on my luck and lost my liberty. Oh, curse, whip, lash me if you will. Tie me to a triangle, you'll never break me still. Put me on a barren isle and see it don't break me chains. I'm the bold bush ranger, John Caesar is my name. To Camp Kent they took me before the big wig judge. In 1786 they still bore a grudge. 'Tis Botany Bay I'm sending you for the filthy lucre you took. At 7 years I'd labour, a convict in the book. Oh, quick, lash me if you will. Tie me to a triangle, you'll never break me still. Put me on a barren isle and see it don't break me chains. I'm the bold bush ranger, John Caesar is my name. Oh, what a summer holiday the government has for me. To Santa Cruz and Rio for variety. The majestic hills of Cape Town, the slaves in the sun. Oh, off to Australia, won't that be fun? Oh, curse, whip, lash me if you will. Tie me to a triangle, you'll never break me still. Put me on a barren isle and see it don't break me chains. I'm the bold bush ranger, John Caesar is my name. In 1796, the government wanted me dead. A reward of 5 gallons of rum was placed upon me head. The blighter took straight aim and released a deadly shot. The ball pierced me heart, and that was me lot. Oh, curse, whip, lash me if you will. Tie me to a triangle, you'll never break me still. Put me on a barren isle and see it don't break me chains. I'm the bold bush ranger, John Caesar is my name. Woo! And sadly, John Caesar, Governor Hunter put a bounty on him for 5 gallons of spirits. And out at Liberty Plains, he was shot. And so that was the reign of the bushranger, John Caesar. But what I'd like to do now, we'll go down to the Wattle and Daub hut, and we'll show you the hut, the Wattle and Daub hut, the type of hut that John Caesar would have built for himself at Sydney Cove in 1788. This Wattle and Daub hut, when the ships came to Australia, they had 40 tents for the women, the convict women on the ships, but they had no tents for the men, for the convict men. They did get a bit of old sail from the ships, so they had to go ashore and build their own huts. And this is what they build: Wattle and Daub hut. And the wattle, the structure here, the stick structure, they're from the wattle trees, and they put them in the ground, and then daub. The door part is the mud going up the walls. This one's not quite finished. He's still got to do this side. But it'd be a lovely cool a spot for a convict here under this shade, because it was summertime when they came to Australia, late January and February. So it'd be lovely and cool there. And also here now, at this hut, here's the convict's rations. For a week. The rations had to last him for a week. So he's got £5 of flour, 5 pounds of flour, 7 pounds of salted beef, 3 pints of peas, half a pound of rice, and 6 ounces of butter. That had to last them for 7 days, so they had to work that out and be very sparing, because if they got to the 7th day, they didn't leave some over, they could run out of food. These convicts are the convicts off the First Fleet sailing ships in 1788. Now this convict here, he was spotted out at Parramatta. He was working in the barley field, and he had an iron collar around his neck, and he had the word thief sewn on the back of his coat, and he would have got flogged, and he would have got reduced rations, like his rations might have been cut in half as a further punishment. Now this one here, this convict here, his name was James Daly, and he pretended that he found a gold mine. And how he did that, he had a gold guinea, and he filed the gold guinea down, and plus a brass buckle. And he mixed the filings with dirt and put them in a fire. And thus he had gold ore. And he had the settlement quite excited to think that they had a gold mine in this beautiful harbour, and for Great Britain. What a windfall. However, when Governor Phillip found out, he ordered James Daly to receive 50 lashes with the cat o' nine tails, and also to wear a canvas frock with the letter R on the back. And the letter R stood for rogue, R-O-G-U-E. So he would walk around with this coat on, and everyone knew to be wary of this convict because he was a rogue. Now, we've got this lady here, convict lady, RSG. She was receiver of stolen goods. So that's what RSG meant, receiver of stolen goods. And over here, I keep walking back, we've got the superintendent of the convicts. And he was called the head borough. That was his title, superintendent of convicts. And he had a couple of devices here to control the convicts. And this one was called a gag. And it had a wooden piece with a hole, and that would be placed in the mouth and tied at the back of the head like a dog collar. And that would silence the convicts. They wouldn't be able to speak once they had this in their mouth. Now the other one is the cat o' nine tails. And this has got 9 strands. And they use this to flog the convicts when they were doing wrong. And we've got John Laurel. He got caught playing cards on Sunday, and that was a real no-no. Oh no, not on Sunday. That was church day. No one did any work, and they went to church in the morning. But John Laurel got caught playing cards, gambling. So he's tied up here, and he's ready to receive his 100 lashes. Now I'd like to move on to this machinery over here. And it's called the convict treadmill wheel. Back in 1828, they had a penal settlement in Brisbane. And Captain Logan used to march the convicts up to Wickham Terrace. There was a great big windmill there. And when the wind wasn't blowing the blades, to turn the grinding stones inside the windmill to crush the wheat into flour to make bread for the settlement, Captain Logan had these big treadmill wheels outside the windmill, and the convicts would ride on these, turn these treadmill. So we're going to do a demo of how this works, how the convicts would work this machine. So first of all, we're going to put some wheat in the mini grain grinder here. I want you to imagine that this is the great big windmill at Wickham Terrace. And as I work the treadmill wheel there, you'll see the grain as it's crushed come down and fall into the bucket. And you can see the wheat now, it's been crushed, it's going into the bucket. And once we've got enough crushed wheat, got flour in the bucket, we can make a loaf of bread. So I'll come down now. We'll see if we've got enough flour. When Governor Hunter, he was Captain Hunter, and then he became governor, he wrote in his diary that he saw a convict dancing in his chains to the tune for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. So I'm going to play that tune now, and then once I stop, I'll dance in the chains to the tune for He's a Jolly Good Fellow, and we'll do a historical reenactment. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us, and so say all of us, and so say all of us. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us.